Hello and welcome. This is the arrival portion of SQ953. We are landing now in Singapore in around 15 minutes. I'm not doing passenger announcement today, it's a short flight. Only, I usually do PAs only for longer flights, maybe to Europe or Japan or China, you know? But flights from Jakarta or Jakarta from Singapore, or Jakarta to Singapore is not relevant, really. Anyways, yeah, as I said, we might be on the ground in, I don't know, 1146, so around 10 minutes, yeah. 10 minutes we'll be on the ground at Singapore. We have been airborne for around 1 hour and 7 minutes. Very short flight. Passing 10,000 feet in a few seconds. Approach checklist completed. We are now switching between flight level and feet and altitude. We've passed already. It was at flight level 130. Is the final flight level before you have to switch to feet. Get 10,000 feet. And off goes Wi-Fi. And I think the lightning is rather over-exaggerated in this instance. And also in our departure from Singapore yesterday, it was rather exaggerated, the lightning. Here we are anyways. Very lightning-y. Not the case outside. I look outside the window. There was some terrible weather a few hours ago, but that should have cleared up, or at least gotten out of our way. Singapore visibility was at 200 meters and thunderstorm showers. Tango Sierra Romeo Alpha on the METAR. So yeah, that's what we use to look at the weather at the aerodrome, which is a fancy word for airport. Okay. We're now going Bebop, where we have to reduce our speed 190 knots. And we go 180 knots till 8 miles, 150 thereafter until 4. And then we do free speed. Yeah, auto photos do not seem to be engaged, but there you go. No? Okay, calm down. So that's a little bug I'm having. No problem. Just cancel those messages. It's nothing, a bit of speed breaks won't help, you know? We don't really try to engage these boys, but in some instances we have to use them. Like if I accidentally, if there's an issue with the throttle, which it was just now, well, there was just now. Okay, whatever. English, not my first language. It actually wasn't just me. It was German. It was der Deutsch. Right, flaps 5, speed check, flaps 5. So much lightning. It's an epilepsy warning if you guys are watching this. Gosh. And just to prove I'm using live weather. So, and also ActiveSky. We need some speed breaks. So this waypoint, I usually brief it every single time I want to make an arrival to Singapore in the 20s, or actually both runways, 02 and 20. I make my own custom fix. If you want, I can show you how I do it. Here I just copy this on Sketchpad, tab 023 on the course I want it to be on, how many miles out with a slash on it, so 12 miles out from 20 right.
Cabin crew, secure cabin for landing.
Secure cabin for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, all electronic devices must now be put in flight safe mode.
Flight safe mode, thank you. And we'll arm the localizer now. Good. Only 2 departures from Singapore now, so one of which is taxiing, one of them is still on the bay. Yeah. Yeah, that's Singapore right there. We'll be landing on this runway right there. You can see those approach lights coursing us in. And this is developmental area for Terminal 5. That big old area. Huge. Ooh. Okay, yeah, that's not ideal. Because I physically put my throttle detents on idle. Because usually on a descent, throttles are on idle. But that also made sure the engines couldn't, you know, spool up. So we were not alarmingly slow, but we were slow. Alright, we're gonna establish localizer. Singapore traffic, Singapore 953, establish ILS, localizer ILS, runway 20 right, Singapore traffic. That's not the best traffic cost, but whatever. Flaps 15, speed check flaps 15. Get down. And autopilot off, like Jaws. Flaps 20, speed check flaps 20. So we're a bit high in the class though. That's why I disconnected autopilot. As I've always wanted to do a manual, like not manual, but you know, not autopilot to 1000. You know, a bit more Boeing style, if you get what I mean. Right, speed 180, 160 actually. Just trim the aircraft. Oh god, we're not at all on the localizer.
2500.
Checked. Okay, flaps full, speed check, flaps full. Singapore traffic, Singapore 953, fully established, Airlines runway 20 right, 6 miles, final call, Singapore traffic. Okay. Landing checklist complete. Far to the left, so I'm correcting, but also not going too high. Not what I wanted to do. Checked. Clear to land. I feel like there's a strong right crosswind, but
Singapore traffic, Singapore 720 lining up departing runway 20
Approaching
center.
20 right.
checked. Yeah, there was a 6-knot right crosswind. That weird engine noise. Disregard it.
500. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continue landing.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Alright, speed breaks up. Reverse, green, decel. That was not really a good flare. The flare was bad, it was too sudden of the pull up. Nonetheless, hard landing, I think. Not really sure. Right, 60 knots. Runway braking. Wait, what's that? That was Victor 7 already? Whiskey. Heyo. Anyways, it's fine. We have to cross runway. We have to cross Romeo. It's actually better if we vacate Whiskey 9er.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until the seatbelt sign is on.
So if you could just taxi down straight.
The overhead compartments and
We're
remember
like
to
zoomed
keep all
in
your
a bit
belongings.
too much. It's irritating me.
It's been a pleasure serving you on this flight. Thank
Okay.
you for flying with Singapore Airlines Virtual.
Roger. Singapore traffic, Singapore 9953 vacated runway 02, to correction 20 right via Whiskey 9er, taxiing to Bay Foxtrot 57 via Romeo 7, Singapore traffic. Logo light should have been turned off when we were passing 10,000 feet, but I guess I didn't bother to do that. It's not a big deal. Just say the logo light was inoperative, and that's that. Well, the landing was good. It was 146. Oh. Flaps up. Spoilers disarm. So welcome to Singapore, guys. I think there's traffic rolling right now. There he is. Oh. You see him? That's rotation. And airborne. I think that's a 350. Yeah, 350, 900. Where's he going? Bangkok? Yeah, Bangkok. I think I saw him before. Okay, on time arrival, actually a bit early. Only 20 knots on the bridge, so let's reduce our speed. 22 knots, 20, 19, good. Should be a nice view of Changi, sorry, not Changi Jewel. I guess you could call it Changi Jewel, but it's no jewel. There it is. Nice. Oop, what am I doing? The fall off the bridge. That's not gonna happen. on my watch. Right, a bit sus of a landing, but whatever. Suspicious. Left is clear and right is clear. Terminal 4 is clear. So Cathay Pacific and all the low-cost carriers fly. And that's, we can see that one 350 from Singapore Airlines. We'll be taxiing right behind him actually. So if he pushes back, he has to stay in his intentions on to Unicom, like we did. We said we'll be doing Bay Foxtrot 57, which he should know is right behind him. He's on Bay Foxtrot for something. For one. Oh yeah, what is this taxi? Taxiing, but whatever. Whatever. You know what they say, a good approach is a good landing, and we did not have neither. We disconnected our autopilot very early. I'll be honest with you guys, I disconnected it because I did not arm our approach mode early enough. It's kind of my fault. It was my fault. Wait, did we miss 57? Shoot. We missed 57. Let's do 56 instead. A gate change won't hurt nobody, right? Yeah, it won't hurt nobody. Cabin crew last turn, thank you. Got like 10 knots inside the. Wow, terrible. Terrible. Straighten it out a bit and then. Yeah, that should just work out fine. Yeah, we stopped right on the thingy, the marker. Alright, park brake is on. Auxiliary power unit is running. Turning off engines 1 and 2. So, that concludes our flight today. Thank you again for watching this flight of ours. Not really that special of a flight, but it was a flight nonetheless. A sus landing as usual, but a landing. So, just realized I gotta set go around altitude. Anyways, not like this approach was any good. We arrived early. Around, what, 6 minutes? 5 minutes early. Yeah. So that's that. Thanks again so much for watching, and see you in the next flight. Where that might be, I don't know. You tell me in the comments if you want. I'll probably just make up a place. Maybe a long haul. Just joking. Right, bye.